Guys, we're gonna unmute.
Untitled City Council meeting is now in session. Today's date, Monday, December the 7th, 2020. Please rise for the invocation and pledge allegiance. Father, this evening we come in prayer and we thank you for bringing us together. Help us build a better and stronger community. Give us the guidance and the strength and the wisdom to do so. These things we ask in your name, Father. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swank.
Here.
Booz.
Here.
Avens.
Here.
Winkle.
Here.
Hung.
Here.
Molesky.
Here.
DeVries.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Service Director.
Here.
Law Director.
Here.
Engineer.
Here.
Auditor.
Here.
Clerk of Council. Here.
Tonight before you see the City Council meeting minutes of November the 16th, 2020. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. We also have the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals meeting minutes of November the 19th, 2020. There are the Civil Service Commission meeting minutes of November the 17th, 2020. We have the Finance Committee meeting minutes of November the 11th, November 18th, and November the 19th of 2020 regarding the 2021 budget. We also have the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes of October the 28th, 2020. We also have the Planning Commission meeting minutes of November the 10th, 2020. And that will bring us to our lobby session. At this time, we will pause and allow people to get involved, our residents, to the meeting. Of course, you can go to our city's website and see the instructions on how to do so, or you can call the council clerk and they will also help you through the process. At this time, are there anybody joining us through the lobby session?
Not this time.
Okay, we're going to pause for about 30 seconds and allow people to join us in our meeting, knowing that you can also submit your questions to the city clerk as well, council clerk, prior to the meetings, and they will read those questions out loud, and the mayor's administration as well as city council will do the best they can to address any questions or at least get back to you with the information that you're requesting. When you do come through, we do give you at least 3 minutes to speak if you're doing this live, or once again, the council clerk will read the questions aloud to us and give us a chance to respond. At this point, we'll wait another 15 seconds and see if anybody joins us. Okay, at this time, is anybody else joined us for the meeting?
Not at this time.
Okay, at this time, we will move on and we will go to the administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
That's me. Thank you, Mr. President. On tonight's agenda, under first readings, we have T-124. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with a consulting engineering firm to extend the sanitary sewer on Center Ridge Road from Barton Road to the east of the corporation limit for approximately 3,200 feet, and from Barton Road to the west, correct, approximately 500 feet. At the time of the reading of that, I will ask to dispense with the second and third readings and add the emergency clause so we can move forward with the bid process and move this project along. Moving on to the senior center, on November 9th, we made the decision to reopen the senior center for planned activities only with safeguards in place. With coronavirus numbers continuing to rise, we have an obligation to protect our most vulnerable citizens. And after consulting with the Lorain County Public Health Department, we made the decision to once again cancel all activities and close the center until further notice. We will continue to operate our Meals on Wheels program delivered to those clients, and our staff will still be available by phone or email. Please call the general number at 440-353-0828 and leave a message, and someone will return your call. I am going to have another coffee and conversation on Wednesday, December 16th from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. in council chambers. Please wear a mask, and we'll practice social distancing to keep everyone as safe as possible. So far, social distancing has not been a problem since we reinstituted these in person. I think there were 3 people the last time, so pretty sure we can keep people far enough away. In front of you, there is T128, and at this point, I'd like to move to dispense with the bylaws to place T128 on first readings this evening.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Hung, to suspend the bylaws so that T120 can be added to the agenda this evening. Any questions or comments at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booz,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung. Yes. Maleski.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously to suspend the bylaws to add as first reading.
Okay, and Mr. President, I will make the motion to go into executive session during the recess portion of the meeting to discuss the compensation of public employees and to discuss the purchase of and sale of public property
Second.
or property in general.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Hung, to go into executive session during our recess portion. Before I call roll, are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booz,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung.
Yes.
Maleski,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously to go to executive session.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Safety Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Monday is certainly different than this Monday. As Monday started last Monday, we all know we were preparing for a big snow. And early on in the day, we got a call from Allied Waste that said they were canceling their service on Tuesday because of the snowstorm. And thinking that, I'm thinking, boy, they really must be expecting an awful big snowstorm, more than what I had anticipated at that time of the day. But as the day continued, and we had plenty of time and plenty of notice out to the residents to, please don't put your garbage cans out, because if we do have them out, our plow guys are going to have some problems, as well as cars parked in the street. Probably nobody anticipated the amount of snow we got. There was 14 inches of snow in a very short period of time. And I've got a stack of emails, and I'm sure you guys have gotten from residents as to how we mismanaged the snow. And when you stop to think about 14 inches of snow, as heavy as it was, to let you all know, we have 48 people over at the service garage, and that we had 2 16-hour shift, 24 hours, 24 people per shift. So these guys were working, and lady, 16-hour shifts in all of those vehicles that we had. They all have plows on them. And then during the day, we actually had the track hose and everything else out that we could do to move and actually move into the residential area, because just to keep the main roads open, we were completely just buried in snow. And we can apologize to the residents out there that maybe we didn't do as good a job as we normally do, but we had everybody out, all hands on deck, including John Montgomery, who's the service superintendent, was actually in the plow. And we're still doing cleanup because if you know, all the neighborhoods have snow that's stacked probably anywhere from 4 feet to 6 feet high on the corners or where our guys could stack it. And we look forward to servicing everyone better. We're hopeful that another 14-inch snow with that kind of weight doesn't come to the city of North Ridgeville anytime soon. But we do a great job. And I think the guys are still, take a lot of pride in how they do snow plowing. And I want to tell them they've done a great job and they'll continue to do a good job as we move forward. Now we're still cleaning up. We're still doing some things with snow, and hopefully we'll get some days that it's even warmer, because if this snow freezes, we'll never be able to move it for weeks because it'll freeze to the bottom. So bear with us. Our crews do a great job. And this morning I was in Elyria about 7:30. There was a dusting of snow. Our streets were in great shape. There wasn't one truck out in Elyria that I was there. So I just show you the difference between the city. That completes my report this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Safety Service Director. Mr. Engineer.
No report this evening. Just wanted to let everyone know that all of our public works projects are complete for the season. And also just a quick on the T124. We do need, want to get that engineering going right away. We have had this in our budget for the entire 2020 budget cycle. It's just something that we finally got to this year because we're so busy. So if we can move that forward, that would be great. That concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Ms. Auditor.
Thank you, Council President. Before Council tonight is T125, which is an ordinance to provide for the 2021 appropriations. There were two small additions that were not included in the budget binder, but discussed during our Finance Committee meeting. The first is a reallocation of tuition reimbursement from the general fund to the utility funds. And the second was the appropriation in the state grant fund for the expenditure of the recycle grant, excuse me. I also wanted to take a moment to thank the Finance Committee, the members of council, the mayor, Jeff Armbruster, the department heads, and the staff of the auditor's office, as well as the assistant clerk of council, for their assistance in completion of the budget and preparing the budget binder. Developing the budget is quite a process and requires a time commitment from everybody involved. I'm very, very proud of the team effort and wanted to thank everybody for their support. Also before council tonight is T126, which is an amendment of the 2020 appropriations. I sent council a memorandum on Saturday explaining some of the details of that ordinance. I would like to ask that council consider dispensing with the second and third reading and adding the emergency clause to allow the necessary financial resources to be available for expenditure as the auditor's office works to close out the 2020 year. Lastly, before council tonight is T127, which is a resolution to authorize the execution of the then and now certificates for 3 of our invoices, 2 of which are for Otis signature service. Those are for our elevator contracts. And lastly is the renewal of the e-maintenance software out at French Creek. There was a slight delay in the renewal of Otis signature service just because those are renewal contracts, and e-maintenance, the invoice was sent to an employee who has separated from the city. Again, I would ask that council consider dispensing with the second and third reading and adding the emergency clause tonight to allow for timely payment of these invoices. Last but not least, I wanted to announce the completion of the 2019 audit. The city has submitted our financial statements to James Zupka CPA firm, who has completed the audit and will be remitting the audit documents and financial statements to the state auditor. Once I receive notification of the release from the state, I will forward the audit report along with the CAFR to council. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Auditor. And again, thank you for the process this past year for preparing the budget. It was very organized, outstanding work, making things very efficient, and we do appreciate it. Thank you. And reports, we have the August and September 2020 financial report. We have the December 2020 Parks and Recreation Director's Report. We have November 2020 Building Report. We have the November 2020 Fire Department Report. We have the October and November 2020 Mayor's Court Reports. And we have the October 2020 Police Department Report, as well as the October 2020 Water Distribution Report. That will bring us to new business. Under new business, we have a proposed bylaw amendment. Clerk, would you please lead the bylaw amendment?
City Council bylaw amendment to section 2B, regular meeting proposed. B, meeting shall convene at 7 p.m. and adjourn no later than 10 p.m. unless extended by 2/3 vote of the members present.
On the proposed bylaw amendment, before I call roll, are there any comments or questions at this time?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if you do vote for this, we would probably want to state when you want it to be effective. We have one more meeting left in this year.
that is correct. This would actually start for the first meeting after January the 1st, 2021. So we'll make sure we add that in there. Are there any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Abens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung,
Yes.
Molesky,
yes,
DeVries,
Yes,
carries unanimously.
very good. And that will bring us to our recess portion. At this time, we will adjourn into executive session. We'll be back.